Hi everyone, this is Luann, and I recently shot a video on how I created my daughter's mini album, her Disney Princess mini album, and it was one of 3 videos, and I thought they'd all uploaded, and only the second one did, so I have to redo the video, hopefully in less time than the first one. I've pre-cut everything, so hopefully it'll be okay. But this is the mini that I did for my daughter. I'm calling it a little, what was I calling it? A mini album folder. These are the sheets. I used 3 manila folders to create this album. There's pockets, and you can fit a whole ton of pictures and photo mats. So this is it. So what you will need are 3 manila folders. And we're going to start with the center pocket, which is this pocket here. This is 1 manila envelope. So for that sheet, and I've already cut it down, you're going to cut it down 10 inches. So it's 10 inches by 7 inches. And this is what you're going to be left with. We're going to put this to the side. For the center sheet, you're going to get your second manila folder. And manila folders have these pre-scored lines. There are 3 pre-scored lines. So you're going to fold it on the first score line next to the already folded score line to create a 1/4 of an inch gap, like so. So once you fold it and you have your 1/4 inch gap there, or hinge, I don't know what to call it, a hinge or gap, space, you're going to fold it back to its original fold, like so, and you're going to grab the bottom sheet and slide it under your cutter. The top sheet needs to be on top over the cutter. You're not cutting this sheet left yet. So you're going to cut that down to 7 inches. And you can save these because you can use these for the hinges later, or little mini tags. So you're going to grab your manila folder, turn it over, and you're going to pull it to the score line, the score fold, or the fold that you created. Okay, so here is the initial hinge, or the initial score, and here is your score. And you're going to do the same thing. You're going to slide the bottom underneath your cutter, or underneath your blade, the top sheet on top, and then cut at 7 inches. And this is your second sheet. And you know what? I didn't cut it down to 10 inches. You can cut it down to 10 inches before you start cutting it to 7 inches, and I'll do that with this third one. Okay, so 10 inches, second sheet, or second folder, and this is your third folder. For your third folder, you're going to cut it on the second score line to create 1/2 inch gap. Now you can add a 4th folder and score it on the third line, which would give you a 3/4 of an inch gap or space to work with. It's not a hinge. It might be a hinge, who knows. But just keep in mind that your distance from this end to this end might be shorter, so you need to do some adjustment there. So what I'm going to do first is cut it down to 10 inches on the height. And then on my first fold here, fold that down, slide it underneath your blade, cut it at 7 inches. Turn it over, fold it forward, and cut the bottom down to 7 inches. Sorry, I'm having cutter issues. Okay, so that is your third sheet. And here's your second sheet. We're going to score now, but I want you to see what it would look like. There you have it. And the binding is pretty simple. It's ribbon binding, and you'll see that on the second video. Hopefully I will have enough time. So now to score these, we're going to start with the center sheet. And we're going to score 1 inch on either side on the 10-inch side. So this is 10 inches, and when it's folded, this is 7 inches. You're going to score in 1 inch on both sides, 1 inch. And you're going to turn it over. You're going to score at 7.5 inches. Bring that up. Continue the score. And you're going to do this exact same score on all of the sheets. It's the middle sheet. Score at 1 inch. Turn that over. Score at 1 inch. Rotate. Score at 7.5 inches. Here's your second sheet. Here's a 1/2 inch space there. And then you're going to grab your third sheet. Score 1 inch on the sides. And then turn it and score at 7.5 inches. Okay, so we're done. This is top page, middle page, center page. Now, once you do that, I already have pre-cut and pre-scored, pre-folded sheets, so I'm going to show that to you now. I'm going to start with the center sheet. This is a center sheet that I did, and essentially what you are doing is this is 7.5 inches, you're left with 2.5 inches, hopefully you can see that. You're going to cut this, you're going to cut down this score line and then cut it at an angle here. You're going to fold this over, and then in the center here you're going to cut probably about just under 1/4 inch. You want to cut a little bit on the outside of the score line, the center score line here, so that when you fold it, we're going to attach a hinge here. So once you fold it, once you fold both sides and then you close it, it won't buckle. So you need enough space cut out so that it won't buckle. And that I cut out, I'll measure that. It's just over 2 millimeters, almost 3. So this is what it looks like cut. Let me take this, put that out of the way, remove my excess sheets. So this, let me see if it's on frame. Yeah. So that is what it looks like. So now we're going to add the hinges. And on these leftover sheets that you got, you can cut these down to 1 inch by just under 2 inches. Sorry, just under 2.5 inches. So that is what, 2 inches and 3/8, I believe. Yeah, you're cutting it down to 2 3/8, and these are going to be your hinges for the inside sheet here. And this is going to create your pocket. Let's glue those down. Do this one here. And I'm using Eileen's Fast Grab Tacky Glue. This stuff, just, it holds quick. We have a little bit of wiggle room as far as time goes, but not too much. Okay, so once you do that, fold over this side and you're going to glue this pocket down. Now before you glue the pocket down, if you're going to ink your edges, now is the time to do it. You can ink it or you can use acrylic paint. It's up to you. I just inked mine for this one. I usually don't, but I decided to be fancy for this one. Now the second video that'll show the binding, it's a different folder obviously, and those are not inked. That was for my son's Mickey Mouse album. Okay, so we're going to close that up, and hopefully we won't have to split this first video in half. So once this is glued down and it's folded, see how the inside it won't buckle, or the inside folders won't buckle. So this is your center sheet. And you're going to essentially do the same thing with your second sheet. And I might just have to show you the second sheet and then go to another video. But I did the same thing. But for this one, on the center here, I cut on the outside score line of the 1/4 inch gap. So there is your 1/4 inch gap right there. You want to cut just on the outside of those score lines, all the way to where the 2.5 score meets. So once you cut that, you do the same thing. You fold it over and up, add your hinges, and do the same thing. And I think I have just a couple more minutes, so I'm not going to add the hinges to this one because I just showed it on the first one. For the third one, it's a little bit different. For the third one, you're going to cut the same thing on the sides here, but your hinges are already built in. What you're going to do is you're going to cut down the center of your score, because this is 1/2 inch, so a 1/4 inch is already scored. So you're going to cut down the center and then cut at an angle to meet the score on the 1/2 inch. So once you do that, you can fold that over like so and just cut off that excess. Like so. And you don't have to add hinges to that one because they're already there. So now that this is done, you can go to the second video and that'll show you how to do the binding. And then the third video will show the measurements for the paper that I used for this one. And you only need 10 sheets of cardstock max. You can use less, but I did want to use 10 different images. So move over to the second video to watch to see how I bind it all with one piece of ribbon. Thanks guys.